I think so often in this day and age, people do things based on two things. One, obligation, or two, they do things as a stepping stone to other things. So they go to high school and they do well so they can get to a good college. And then they go to a good college and they do well so that they can get a good job. And then they get a good job so that they can get another job. And they join this committee because they want to impress their boss, or they want something additional on their resume. And sort of the secret is that there is no there there. There is no light at the end of that tunnel. The only light at the end of any of these tunnels is coming alive. And there was a very wise person that once said, don't ask what you can do for the world, ask what makes you come alive, because the world needs more people who have come alive. And that's sort of how I try and live my life. Okay. I think at the very beginning when I started a blog, I wanted to adhere to existing patterns for doing things. And the biggest breakthrough came when I wrote an article about quitting things and flakiness and why people should really quit more things and be more flaky. And it ended up being, up to that point, the most popular article, the most commented article. And I wrote that article for one person and one person alone, myself. I wasn't thinking about my audience. I wasn't thinking about anyone else. I was thinking about myself. And it's sort of been uphill for there. It's only been 2 months so far, and we have 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting 5,000 page views a day. We just busted into the top 60,000 in Technorati, which I know doesn't sound like a very high ranking, but given we've only been around for 2 months, that's pretty good.
So why do you think
The be-all and end-all to me is just to be able to be radically myself and to make enough money to pay my rent and have some food and maybe to take a vacation now and then. I feel more alive since I've started this than I've ever felt before. Yeah. My blog is something that I still don't understand. Those articles certainly don't flow out of me. I don't know that I'm a particularly good writer. What I think I'm good at doing is having clarity, and I think that I'm good at being persistent enough at writing that I can get my writing to the point that it matches up to what's going on in my head. But that takes a very long time to happen. It just, people have this idea of words just flying out onto the page, but, I'll sometimes spend 8 hours on a 1,500 word article. That doesn't just happen immediately. So the kind of wisdom that somehow emerges on the page when I'm writing my blog is not something that, I got right. It's not in my back pocket. I can't just whip that out. That shit takes time. Because these fucking ideas won't leave me alone. They won't leave me alone. Like I'm sitting, I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm like, holy shit, I gotta write that down. So I run into the other room, and I'm crying. I'm going through the whole spectrum of emotions. I'm calling my friends. I'm looking through past emails. I'm looking through past journals. I'm looking through my favorite books. There's this whole, there's this explosion that happens, but really it's like my brain is like dragging me along. My brain is like, forcing my fingers to type this stuff out, and it's really not a choice. I mean, I feel like I'm that like zombie in the movies, like chasing after this person or idea, whatever, the living person that I want to like shoot my venom out, do whatever they do. No, I mean it's a passion that sometimes verges on the obsession. I think it becomes unhealthy when I start looking at my stats too much and when I start looking at my numbers too much. And I think that the result of looking at those things too much is actually that I write worse articles. The best shit comes out when I just like close all the windows, close down my email, turn off my cell phone, close the door, and just write.